All right, joining me right now from Canada is bantamweight standout Jesse Arnett. Jesse, man, appreciate the time. I see you wearing the MTK MMA shirt. I saw another interview with you, and you were talking about your management and how you switched it up, and now you're gonna end up going to Abu Dhabi. I saw that on your Instagram too. So talk about that first.
Yeah, thanks a lot, John, for having me. Yeah, I'm with MTK Global MMA now, and I think I signed with them 10 days before my last fight in Florida there, October 30th, and it's been good, man. Good things, and I really respect Rizvan and everything MTK MMA has done for me, and fast forward, here we are, heading to Abu Dhabi in 2 days.
Yeah, talk about the reasoning for going out there. I saw that you're going to be out there for a few months. I mean, usually people go, maybe they'll spend a week or two, but what's the reasoning behind the long stay there?
Well, I have some friends there. I got all my medicals in. If I'm ready for Fight Island, I still got that UFC dream, and then Rizvan and MTK Global MMA hooked up that deal with UAE Warriors, and that's an incredible show. And to even top it off, they're having Khabib's dad's memorial show. It's kind of a big deal. It's something that it's my honor and my privilege to be a part of.
Do you have everything all set up out there? Is there a quarantine when you go out there? Do you have to be sitting in the room for 2 weeks?
Well, because UAE is hooked up, I have my PCR test complete here. I get that back tomorrow. It's a go. I can use that PCR test when I land in Abu Dhabi, and I go to my room, and then UAE Warriors takes care of me. No quarantine. However, I believe I have to stay in Abu Dhabi, and for the test, we would have to do another PCR test or another COVID test, of course.
All right, so after you get out of all of that, do you have your training all lined up? Because I've heard, or I've talked to many fighters that are out there already, and they've been out there for the past year looking for an opportunity, because right now for the UFC and promotion-wise, there's Abu Dhabi and there's Las Vegas, right? And a lot of people are congregating there. Is that kind of one of the reasons you mentioned Fight Island?
For sure, 100%. I wanted to go for some training. We were looking into UAE, and my management said, you know what, you might as well get all your medicals in, and all the medicals I would need for UFC, and you never know what could happen. But right now, I'm solely focused on UAE Warriors and January 15th, and the task at hand.
Are you going out there by yourself?
Yes, I'm meeting up with a coach, Steven Jaguar. He's actually up in Dubai right now, and he's going to come down and corner me. But when I was a young man, I traveled the world a lot wrestling. So I'm sure once I get there and I meet some people, and actually my affiliate is through Atos Jiu-Jitsu, Andre Gavallo. My coach, Tim Blanchard's under him, and I'm hooking up with this Pablo guy in Abu Dhabi, and that's perfect because the guy I'm fighting, he's strong on the floor. I'd say that's his best weapon. He's got 16 wins, 13 of them are submissions. I'm no slouch on the ground either, but I would say I'm more well-rounded.
Yeah, you mentioned the Jaguar. Isn't he the one that was coaching at Tiger Muay Thai for a while? Now he's out in Abu Dhabi?
I think so. My lad from Ontario, he's actually the Russian commentator for the UFC. He goes to Fight Island every time. He's my friend, and he hooked me up with Steven Jaguar, and we've just been chatting online, and we get out there and we see how things are, you know. My 24th, 25th professional fight. I wrestled my whole life. As long as we're on the same page and the energies are good and the vibrations are right, I can fight with anyone in my corner here, and we're going to show up prepared.
Yeah, that experience of, traveling the world, in the past is going to play pivotal, I think, for yourself, because people that have never traveled, they're going to be shocked by everything that's happening around them. And going out there early is going to be helpful for you, I guess, with the time differences and the heat too. It's hot out there.
Yeah, I heard it's hot out there, so I'll make weight a little easier.
Yeah, for sure. Before we talk about the fight coming up, I wanted to get into this year, 2020, man. When you headed into the year, you were on a 2-fight skid, but then you turned it around. You won 2 straight this year. You know, I know it's been a year full of obstacles for everyone. What about you? What has this year been like for you?
On paper, this was my best year yet. I learned how to fight going backwards. Those fights I did lose, I was pushing forward too much. I was on a 12-fight win streak. I really thought I was invincible in a way. And if you look up the guys I lost to, they're no slouches. They're both on winning streaks. One's on a winning streak in Bellator, and one's on a winning streak in the UFC. They're both solid fighters, both great guys too. I know if I adjusted a few things, which I did, I'm dangerous. I'm a hard fight for anybody in the world at 135 pounds. I'm long, I'm tall, I'm southpaw. I'm the worst kind of guy to get on short notice, that's for sure. And I'm a wrestler.
In your last fight, you're coming off a 8-month layoff. You go in there, you get the decision over Pedro Souza. Overall thoughts on that fight and the performance that you had?
I did well. I have a good poker face, but I only had 17 days of training. I was working a lot of construction before. Maybe I wasn't eating the best. That's the first time I missed weight since 12. That might have been my best third round I ever had, but I felt like crap. You know, I was digging deep. I wasn't in the shape I needed to be in. But what I learned from that fight is if I stick to it, eat clean, devote my life to this, I can turn things up on the ground and pound. This is my first year training the ground and pound. I'm naturally good at it. I got a long torso. I can hang out in guys' guards and smash. And I'm training that now. And it just shows me I got what it takes to fight at that level still. My left hand into my kick was landing. Everything that I've been drilling over the years kind of came into fruition that night. And I had a really big jiu-jitsu super fight in August at my gym here, and it was a bit of bad blood with a guy from a province across, and we went 15 minutes, and it was a hard fight too, a dominant hard fight victory for me. So I've been 45 minutes this year competing, you know, where a lot of guys on this regional level aren't getting nothing, you know. Unless you're in the UFC, you're not getting 4 or 5 fights a year. So I feel very blessed, very thankful to get that competition this year. And I just kept the ball rolling after Tora MMA, after I beat Pedro Souza. I know it's cliche, I've said this many times, but I'm in the best shape of my life right now, and I can go 3 rounds hard. Smart pace. I can steal rounds by going backwards now if I want to. I never did that before, and I'm a better counter fighter than I am. One thing good about my career is I've always been able to learn from my mistakes, and I'm learning every day, and I'm super thankful to be in the position I'm in right now with 2 big wins on paper this year.
You mentioned the third round, you had to dig deep, a lot of adversity there. And how important is that for a fighter? You know, sometimes fights can come easy to them, and then you need to dig deep once in a while to just kind of, I guess, recharge yourself, to remind yourself that this can happen in a fight.
100%. I was nice because the second round, I was on top of him the whole round, and I was hitting him with some big shots, ground and pound. No excuse, but if I was there and I'd done the work, I think I could have finished him on the mat. So because I was doing so good, it gave you confidence that overcame that tiredness, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And that guy was tough, man. Like I hit people with less and knocked them down, knocked them out. He was hard. He had a hard head. My hands were hurting every time I landed on him. And it was just different. I kicked him in the head, cut my leg even on his head. He was a tough man, a lot of experience, hard to finish. I usually get the finish. He was tough.
Now you got this fight coming up January 15th, UAE Warriors 15. You're facing a former Brave champion in Elias. I don't want to murder his last name.
I'm Boudegzdame, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just better not to say it. We know who he is.
He's a scrapper. He's 27 years old. He's a veteran, and he's tough, man. On paper, this is fight of the night, man. This is a great fight. We're meeting at 140 pounds. I'm bantamweight even. I think we're the same size. I might be a little bigger, but he's got that experience fighting at 45 and winning at 45. And hey, man, the last bantamweight he fought knocked him out. So I'm gonna put my left on. I'm gonna crack him with the left hand, and I guarantee he won't be smiling.
Now with this fight camp, did you start it in Canada, or are you gonna start it when you get there to Abu Dhabi?
I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go. So I'll just probably stick with my cardio, do a bit of jits at the end. I'm hooking up with some guys there. He's tricky on the floor. So we've been locked down here. I've been training in my basement for the last month. But right before we locked down, we put in a hard 2 weeks with anyone I could find because we knew we were getting locked down. And I put some solid work in when I was just getting into shape. I'm talking 12 rounds of grappling, 6 rounds of stand-up. Like, I'm ready to go. I could go 5 rounds if we needed. But the 3-round pace that I'm going to be able to put on this guy, it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited for this. We'll see. I'm going to test him to the body. I'm going to put straight punches down the middle, and he's going to shoot on me desperate. And he better not shoot into my knee. I have a good front headlock, too. Imagine subbing him. He'd be very tough to sub. I can see on his record he's never been submitted. And he does put himself in a bad position, his neck a lot, but guys aren't even close to getting him. So it'll be interesting to see what he feels like. I wrestled my whole life, so I know what it's like to go against strong guys my whole life. So no one has ever really beat me up in there. I've been caught with 2 punches, and I lost in fights that I was handling. And then I started my career off not very good because I wasn't training. I didn't start training in this stuff till I had 5 fights. I thought it was fun just to go down to the casino, fight on a Friday night. But I didn't even use my wrestling at the beginning. I'd always get caught in submissions, and I'm like, what the hell is this jiu-jitsu? And then I got the gi, a great jiu-jitsu coach, and I really put time in before I went on that 12-fight win streak. And now, if anything, jiu-jitsu is my strength. Like, I'm very good at jiu-jitsu. And I don't think he subs me. But I got to be careful. Well, I know he doesn't sub me. However, I got to break him down early. I got to get on top of him late first round, early second round. If I was to try and rush a takedown and get on him right away before we're sweating, that's when he could potentially throw something up that I'm not used to. Anyone you've never rolled with, you got to be really careful in that first 30, 40 seconds of going with them. They're tricky. You don't know how they move. So I'm excited to punish him on the feet a little bit and make him have a desperate shot.
You know, going into, I guess, so-called his territory and beating him, you know, where does that stack up? Because he does have a name in the region.
Oh, yeah, he's exciting. He's smiley, man. He's dope. I like him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I say that would put me right in contention for their bantamweight title. That would put me on a 3-fight win streak with offers in Bellator, I'd hope. I hope the UFC still. We almost had that UFC offer. They didn't like my age. I hate to go back to it, but I had the contract for the UFC when I was on a 12-fight win streak, and this fucking promoter did not let me out of my deal at the time. It was really heartbreaking, and that was 3 years ago. And I'm a better fighter now, way better fighter, but on paper that doesn't matter. To them, I'm 36 years old. You know, I was 33 then when I had the offer. And then this guy went out of business, and here I am. I battled back, and I'm optimistic. And, man, there's easier fights in the UFC on Fight Island than there is this Elias kid. We're both kind of got the similar records, close to UFC, and then lost those fights. So I think the winner's in a really good position.
Definitely in a good position, in a great location to go in there and possibly step in. So what would be the perfect way? You know, you get there January 15th, you know, what would be the perfect way to end that fight? And then maybe the week after, there could be an opening somewhere. I don't know. Is that perfect?
After even the perfect scenario would be to put him away early. And that ain't easy. This guy's durable. Even when he is getting finished, he's getting finished in the 4th, 5th round by elite fighters, you know, like this could go all 3 rounds, and I'm gonna have to win a decision, right? But I'm prepared for everything, and I've been working on. He struggles with southpaws. You can watch the film. He gets hit a lot from southpaws. Anyone I've hit with those 4-ounce gloves does not like it. Johnny Bedford, bare knuckle boxing champion in the world, I was putting him down. I'm gonna test Elias to the body. I'm gonna put my left hand straight on his chin. I'm gonna put my overhand on his temple while I dip off to the side, and I'm gonna have a good time doing it. And if he's still standing, then I'll put him down, get on top of him, and use Father's plan.
All right. Well, January 15th, UAE Warriors 15. It works out, man. Hopefully you do what you need to do. Get in there, get it done quickly, and maybe we might see you somewhere on the big show. Hopefully it happens, man. I'm rooting for you. And if you don't, man, there's another Canadian walking around with that belt for UAE Warriors.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, John. Big shout out to my management, MTK Global MMA, Rizvan, my main man. Shout out to my sponsor here, Robin Hahn from Built 360, and shout out to you, man. Shout out to Asia. And hopefully the big cat's a big star out there. I have no doubts.